Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so today we are strapping on our metaphorical grimoires. We're plunging headlong into a fantasy world where basically your entire worth, your potential, even where you get to live, it's all decided by one simple thing.
How much magic you were born with. Simple as that, and pretty brutal when you think about it.
We were talking about the Clover Kingdom from Black Clover, yeah.
Exactly. And our sources, well, they really lay out how this fantasy setting is actually like one of the sharpest critiques of classism and inherited privilege you'll find in modern fiction. It's quite something.
Yeah, the analysis we looked at, it was intense, tracing roots back to real history, mythology, showing how this whole magic system isn't just for show, it is the hierarchy. So our mission today, we want to cut through the noise and get straight to the why. Why is there this constant, pretty violent class struggle in the Clover Kingdom?
Okay, so let's set the stage. Because this premise, it's absolutely everything. Imagine your whole potential in life, like your ceiling, is set by some energy you got at birth. And here's the kicker. You can't really get more. Not substantially anyway, no matter how hard you train.
Right. And in the Clover Kingdom, that energy is mana. And that fixed amount, it dictates pretty much your entire life.
It really does.
It sounds like the definition of a fixed game. You know, they might call it a magic meritocracy. But if the starting line is that uneven, well, the merit part feels like a bit of a lie, doesn't it?
That's the core of it. It's entirely a measure of birthright. That's the rule one of this world. Mana is internal, it's predetermined, you're born with your lot.
So training helps you use it better, maybe, control it.
Sure, yeah. You can refine your skills, learn techniques, control output. But the raw amount, the fundamental power source, that doesn't really change. You're stuck with what you got.
Wow. So it's not just more power. It's fundamentally fixed from the start. And you mentioned our sources link this power level to geography, too. How does that work?
Oh, it creates a literal map of inequality. Your mana dictates your social tier, and your tier dictates where you live. It's that direct.
Okay, break that down.
So at the very top, you've got the royals. Think Kira, Silva, Vermilion houses. Direct descendants of the first Wizard King. They have absolutely immense mana reserves, and naturally, they live in the lap of luxury, the royal capital.
Okay, makes sense. Then below them.
The nobles, also high mana. But here's a really critical detail your sources highlighted, makes their whole claim to natural superiority feel. Well, pretty gross.
Well, what's that?
Historically, their bloodlines didn't just inherit magic. Their power levels were boosted generations ago by magic stolen from the ancient elf tribe.
Well, wait, stolen.
Yep. So their superiority isn't just natural selection. It's built on, ancient theft, violence, systemic injustice, basically. It's this dirty secret baked into the kingdom's origins.
That completely changes things. It undermines their whole legitimacy.
Exactly. It reinforces how corrupt the hierarchy is from the get-go. Below them, you've got the commoners, your sort of middle-class average magic.
And then at the very bottom,
the peasants. They get stuck in the poorest, most remote areas, the Forsaken Realm, often born with almost no magic potential at all.
Like Hague Village, where Asta, Yuno, grew up.
Precisely. And I mean, the name itself, Forsaken Realm, it tells you exactly how the kingdom views these people.
Yeah, it's bleak. You can see it, right? The visual.
Oh, absolutely. The contrast is stark. You look at the royal capital, ornate clothes, grand buildings, everyone looks pristine. Then you go to the Forsaken Realm, rough clothes, earth tones, run-down buildings. It's not just showing poverty, it's showing a system that barely considers these people human.
And even the path that should be based on merit, magic knights, that's rigged too.
Well, theoretically, it's open to talent. It's the kingdom's military. But yeah, look at the leadership, the ranks.
Yeah.
Overwhelmingly royals and nobles. So the very institution meant to reward talent just ends up reinforcing the social order that's already there, based on birth mana.
Okay, so the system is built on this fixed mana. How does that power actually manifest? What are the tools here?
Right, that brings us to the Grimoires.
Ah, yes, the spell books. Yeah. Everyone gets one at 15, right?
Yeah.
And they're meant to amplify the power you already have, kind of like a symbol of your fate.
They absolutely are. That Clover emblem on the cover, it's like a destiny marker. Most people get 3 leaves: faith, hope, love. Pretty standard.
But then there are the rarer ones.
Yeah, the 4-leaf clover. That signifies huge potential, good luck, reserved for really powerful mages.
And the 5-leaf, that one's different.
Very different and tragic, really. A 5-leaf grimoire only appears when a 4-leaf owner falls into just absolute total despair. It basically creates an opening for a devil to move in and inhabit the book.
Oof. So it's literally born from despair and loss.
It's a mechanism built on tragedy.
Okay, so grimoires amplify fixed mana seems pretty deterministic. But here's where our sources pointed out that really interesting contradiction, right? Where agency comes back in.
Exactly. This is where the theme gets really juicy. Your mana amount is fixed, yes. But how you get new spells, it's not about hitting the books.
Right, you don't learn them from study or practice.
Nope. New spells just manifest spontaneously on the grimoire's blank pages.
Wow.
They seem to be born directly from the user's intense emotions at a critical moment. Pure desire, the will to overcome a crisis, that's what creates new magic.
So that sets up this amazing tension, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is your value determined by your birthright, the mana you can't change? Or is it about your character, your will, the magic you create in the moment?
That's the central question the series wrestles with, and is personified perfectly in one character.
Has to be Asta, the ultimate outlier, the kid born with absolutely zero mana.
He's the walking, talking statistical error in a world totally defined by magic, a complete anomaly.
And his very existence just breaks the system's logic.
Fundamentally, yeah. His lack of magic, ironically, is what makes him the only person who can wield anti-magic.
Which comes from the devil, Lieb, in his 5-leaf grimoire.
Right. And since anti-magic just cancels out all other magic, Asta basically negates the entire foundation of the Clover Kingdom's power structure just by existing. He's defiance incarnate.
He's like a living loophole, proof that maybe effort and spirit can challenge destiny.
And he's not the only crack in the system, though he's the biggest. You also have these arcane stage mages.
Ah, right. People with weird magic types like time magic or dark magic.
Exactly. Abilities that inherently break the normal rules of magic in their world. And significantly, they're uniquely effective against devils. It shows the system isn't as airtight as it pretends to be. Life finds a way, you know?
Magic does, I guess.
Yeah. Magic finds a way. And if you dig into why the system is built this way, it starts to look very familiar. It's not random fantasy fluff.
This is where the world building gets seriously clever. It's not just some generic kingdom. The sources drew a really direct line to European feudalism, right?
Yeah.
Like 9th to 15th centuries.
The parallels are incredibly stark. You can literally map it. King is the monarch. Royals and nobles are the lords and vassals. Magic knights are the military knights. Commoners and peasants are the serfs.
And in both systems, moving up the ladder was basically impossible. Your status was just set by who your parents were.
Exactly. But here's the crucial substitution. The thing that makes Black Clover's critique so relevant now.
Okay.
Historical feudalism justified itself with the divine right of kings, the idea that the king was chosen by God, so the whole hierarchy was divinely ordained. To challenge it was like challenging God.
Right. I remember that from history class. So what does Black Clover use instead?
It swaps out that vague spiritual justification for mana, a quantifiable, almost scientific-sounding attribute, an innate genetic trait.
Oh, okay. So it secularizes the justification for oppression.
Precisely. The nobles aren't claiming God chose them. They're claiming natural superiority based on their quote-unquote better magic genes. Genetic determinism.
Wow. That totally reframes it. It lets the story talk directly about modern debates, like meritocracy. You know, this idea that everyone has a fair shot if they just work hard.
But Black Clover says, how can it be fair when the starting line itself is inherently unequal, when it's fixed by something like mana? The system claims it rewards excellence, but what it really rewards is excellence of bloodline.
It's a powerful point. And the world-building depth doesn't stop there, does it? The magical elements themselves have real-world roots.
Oh yeah, deeply rooted. The whole idea of grimoires. That's straight out of Western esotericism, ceremonial magic.
Like those old books, The Key of Solomon and stuff.
Exactly. Historically, grimoires were actual instruction manuals for summoning spirits, demons, angels. So the fantasy element is grounded in this really deep well of occult history. It adds a layer of authenticity, almost.
And the devils. Their names sounded familiar.
They should. They're pulled directly from Judeo-Christian demonology. Lucifero, Beelzebub, Astaroth. These are major figures in texts about demon summoning, like the Goetia.
Gives them some real weight. Though I gotta say, the irony of Asta's devil being named Lieb.
Isn't that brilliant? It's German for love. Such a deliberate contrast to the massive destructive evil associated with the other big-name devils. It immediately signals that even Asta's connection to this dark power is different. It's an anomaly within the anomaly.
It really is layered. Anything else? Any non-Western influences?
There's a subtle but cool one. The sources mentioned word soul magic, which is a pretty rare and powerful ability. That seems like a direct nod to kotodama.
Kotodama.
It's a Japanese belief in the mystical power of words and names. The idea that language itself can hold spiritual force. It's just another example of how thoughtfully this magic system blends different global traditions.
Okay, so we had this deeply unequal, historically rooted, mythologically rich system. And because it's so fundamentally unfair, it naturally breeds conflict, right? The hierarchy isn't just background, it's the engine.
Absolutely. It's the primary driver for almost every major conflict. And you see the systemic prejudice play out so clearly, like after the elf attack when they try to make Asta the scapegoat.
Oh yeah, that was infuriating.
Right. He undeniably saved countless lives, including noble ones. But because he's a peasant, and worse, connected to a devil, the noble-led magic parliament immediately targets him. His actions, his heroism, it doesn't matter as much as his status. His very existence threatens their narrative of noble purity and superiority.
So how does the story suggest you fight a system like that? It seems like the three main protagonists offer different approaches.
They really do. They function as these distinct thematic vehicles, challenging the class structure in different ways. First, obviously, is Asta. He's the external challenger.
Because he's completely outside the system's rules. 0 mana, 5-leaf grimoire.
Exactly. So his growth comes purely from insane physical training and sheer willpower. He embodies the triumph of hard work over innate talent, and his refusal to give up creates this Asta effect, inspiring others at the bottom.
Okay, then there's Yuno. He seems like the opposite case initially.
Right. He's the internal reformer, or at least he starts that way. He's the peasant prodigy, the exception that seems to prove the rule that maybe incredible talent can break through.
But then there's that twist.
The big reveal. He's actually the lost prince of the Spade Kingdom. Suddenly, his success isn't just about talent and hard work anymore. It forces him and us to question. Was he always destined for greatness because of his bloodline, even if he didn't know it? It complicates the whole merit idea.
Definitely makes you think.
Yeah.
And the third key figure.
Noelle Silva. She's fascinating because she's the royal outcast. She has to challenge the system from within the royalty itself.
Right. Ostracized by her own family because she couldn't control her magic initially.
Exactly. But finding acceptance in the Black Bulls helps her unlearn all that internalized classism she grew up with. Her journey is about redefining what nobility actually means. Maybe it's about service and character, not just birthright and power.
And that brings us to the Black Bull squad itself. They're like the ultimate counterpoint to the whole kingdom, aren't they?
They really are. That squad is just this beautiful, found family. Misfits, peasants, disgraced nobles, foreigners, people the mainstream magical society rejects. And they operate on mutual support, acceptance, not status, not competition. They show you what the Clover Kingdom could be if it just let go of its obsession with bloodlines and hierarchy.
It's a powerful contrast. So pulling it all together, the series uses this whole fantasy setup
to deliver a really sharp critique, yeah. How an inherently unequal starting line, the fixed mana, makes any claim of fair competition, of true meritocracy, basically hollow.
So what's the ultimate message then? How does change happen in this world? It seems like it leans towards reform, not tearing everything down.
That seems to be the direction, yes. It's a key takeaway. Asta's goal isn't revolution, it's to become the Wizard King, the highest position within the existing structure.
So fix the system from the top.
Kind of. The idea seems to be to change the people in charge, champion those who genuinely deserve it based on merit and character, and hopefully reform the prejudiced attitudes, rather than, say, dismantling the monarchy or the Magic Knight system entirely.
It champions the power of the individual, especially Asta's sheer effort to overcome birthright and inspire change within the structure.
It does. It's a compelling narrative choice. But it definitely leaves you with a lingering question, doesn't it?
Which is?
Well, in a world built on such profound, predetermined inequality, where your potential really is largely fixed at birth by mana, can you truly achieve a fair and equitable society just by reforming the top, by changing personnel?
Or would genuine equality require something more drastic? A complete magical revolution, maybe, to wipe the slate clean and redistribute that power entirely?
It's a tough question, and maybe one without an easy answer, even in a fantasy world.
Definitely something to chew on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
We'll catch you next time.